Hey guys, it's Enwa and welcome to the third episode of the Batman Forever project. Bit of a tongue twister. But in last episode, we cracked on with our exterior walls and building up our interior walls inside after we established a fitting blueprint. So we used a combination of soul soil and dark oak planks with some stairs and some slabs for our entrances and hallways, and really loved how that turned out. So today we are going to be cracking on with our Great Hall, the first room that you see when you come through this main door in the middle. But before we get started with that, I did a little bit of digging and I found a video by Louis Six Cat, I believe, which I'll link in the description below, where he goes in and walks around Stevenson Taylor Hall and shows us still clips from the film that have filmed there. And as I went through and I saw at the very back, which has our exit, this is actually an extension. So this is all windows and there's not even doors. So this entire area is actually just a part of the building. And our doors are actually on either side of this little section here, and we have an additional one coming from this part here. And I thought, okay, I've done a lot of this stuff now, but we're going to keep it as it is because I think it's a little bit more fitting for what Wayne Manor is. I want to make sure it's quite proper. We've got loads of doors going out on either side. We've got this main one in front as well. We have two on either side and then an additional two. So we are fully kind of stacked on doors. So I've kind of just left it for how it is. I'm just going to keep it as a little extension, which is just the back entrance with a little balcony foundation area. But it was still quite interesting to kind of look and see what there is. Now, apart from that, I did make a little bit of a mistake when I was doing my research. And what I thought was the Surrogates Hall in Manhattan, which I thought they used for filming for the Great Hall, this is actually interior for another building. So that left me with, well, what is the Great Hall in Batman Forever? I don't want to go blind with this. I don't know what to do. So I went and looked at the clip for when Two-Face and Riddler come and ransack Wayne Manor. And we got a little bit of a glimpse of what the Great Hall is, which I believe is what the Great Hall is. So I'm going to put those pictures on the screen now so you can have a look. It is a massive room, which of course doesn't make sense for what the Stevenson Taylor Hall building is like, because it was all filmed on a set. We've got a long table in the middle, and we've got this big staircase going across and splitting up into two. Very similar to what we did with the Arkhamverse, and so on and so forth. So, that being said, I had to kind of scrap up a few ideas, go forward with that, and I'm just going to go and change those details. I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about what we're looking at, what we're seeing, and let's just build a brand new Great Hall. Alrighty, so you've got a little look inside of what I've kind of done. So I have gotten rid of the staircases that were on either side, and they were going to plan to cross over at the top and then go up. But instead, looking at the pictures, we have two arches on either side of the staircase, and we have our staircase in the middle, which will then split off on either side. So let's crack on and build this. So I'm going to get some dark oak and pop it on either side so I can eventually use the underneath the staircase for storage, or as I used in the previous build, I used that for a Batcave entrance. And I'm just going to pop in some stairs. I'm just going to be using spruce for this section here. I do have another plan for the flooring, which I'm probably going to use some oak stripped wood, which sounds a bit bizarre, but go with it with me. So let me grab the correct items. So I'm gonna just make this go up. Oh, apologies for the FOV change. I always forget about this. And I'm gonna pop it like that. So making a little staircase kind of pattern. And I'm gonna go up by 4 with all of my stairs till I get to the middle. And then I'm gonna just attach this all together. This is probably gonna be changed with what's it called? With some wool. That's the one. And last few parts go up like so. Try my best not to go into that soil. My goodness. Like that. And I'm just gonna grab some soil either side. That's all lovely. And then, as per usual, I'm getting my lecterns. So, although the original Great Hall has a lot of white, I was torn onto how to, integrate that. So I am breaking it up, the browns, just ever so slightly with some lecterns, which I'll be using as banisters again, because I absolutely love how it looks. It just does something, and it really does it well. So I'm going to pop all of those backwards, all the way up to the top, and I'll put that on the other side. And then I'm going to top that off with some dark oak trapdoors that will go on top ever so slightly. There we go, we got it in the end. And one of the main things in the scene that I watched was there was a really long table in the middle. Now, of course, that would have been plausible if the building was wider, but because of how it is with the interior design being filmed on set, that is not possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little walkway with some carpet going across at the top, and another additional bit of decoration. I'm going to have some plant pots and a armor stand with a long little lamp as well to go either side. So we're kind of getting a few little characteristics that we're kind of used to. Now, as we go up, we are now kind of in the next floor, so to speak. So I will have to add another spruce stair like that. And I'll go over the part here. This will just be a very short ceiling, if that makes sense. I know it sounds a little bit rambly right now, but bear with me. We will get there. Spruce. So I'm going to be getting my spruce slabs now, and I'm going to be covering this inner layer here and all the way across in every single room. So I made sure that everything is lit up because I want to avoid mobs. I do not want any mobs in here ruining this building. That's the last thing I want to do. And I'm going to leave out these gaps where I'm going to be putting some stairs. And I'm going to leave a gap here for the ballroom, so I would like that open up. And my last thing, which of course you could probably guess, is the library, which will also have some little stairs and an upstairs area as well. And I've got this little section here with stairs. So, I hope that made sense. I'm going to go and cover this all up, and then we're going to come back, and what I'm also going to do is cover up this layer here as well. So this will also cover up this entire wall section. So I'm just going to stop around this entire area, so this section will be open, and we'll come back. I'll talk a little bit more about it, and then we can look and see where we're at in terms of progress and building up the next walls. So stick around and I'll see you in just a moment. Right, so all of the ceiling and the first floor is put down, And I've obviously left in the gaps, which will have a second room going up. At the moment, I'm quite torn about this ballroom because it is a very big ballroom, and I'm just wondering whether or not I do kind of a curved ceiling like this or have it completely open by 2 floors. I haven't yet to decide, so I'm just kind of going to leave it as it is right now. I'm still going to build up all the walls and whatnot, but of course, it will need a little bit more brainstorming. Now, another thing to add, I've been busy at work trying to do a blueprint for the second floor, which is in a separate world. It's been absolutely non-stop trying to make sure that everything makes sense and it flows well. And I also gave myself a little reminder by watching Batman Forever again. And there is just a lot of stuff that is very difficult to add in this build, purely down to the interior and exterior conflicts. So when films are building, sets, they don't always keep in mind the exterior building that they're using. So although the Stevenson Taylor Hall is very thin, like very narrow here, when you're in the Great Hall in Batman Forever, it is absolutely massive. There's corridors and it just continues to go. And that's very difficult to do. So of course I've had to kind of tailor it to what the exterior is like. This is the main source of inspiration for this build. So regardless of that, I still want to be able to honor those main rooms that we do see throughout the film. So on the right side with these, this archway, the room that is actually in this area will now be moved over here into our library. So it will be a little bit of a mix of like a library, massive fireplace, you name it. It's going to be quite a grand little thing. So I can still add seating areas down here, but it's not going to be exactly the same as what we see in the film. And that is pretty much it. I'm also going to add like a little laundry room next to our kitchen, because I completely forgot about that. I didn't even know that there was a laundry room, but that will just be a little small square added to the side of the kitchen. Now, moving on. So this is probably going to be very self-explanatory. We are going to build up exactly the same design up again. Now, instead, we have these doors that are no longer going to be doors. So luckily for this part here, this is exactly the same dimensions as these big windows here. So we can just do another big window on this section up there, mirroring it on either side. Then with our doors on either side, it's a little bit different, which I'll show you after I've done that. And the back will be pretty much the same, although what I would like to do is change this cut sandstone into walls, because I think it looks a little bit too blocky for my liking. So I thought maybe if we add some sandstone, it might make it, like the walls, sandstone walls, make it look a little bit more curved. I think that might make sense in a way, but we can try that later on. Now, that's enough rambling from me. It is time to talk about this section at the front. Now, in the actual Stevenson Taylor Hall building, it is this kind of granite looking road / path. However, in the film, it's actually turned grey. So I'll be using a combination of gravel, stone, and some cobblestone, and anything else I might find, maybe some andesite as well, and making this kind of textured path going all the way around. Now, another thing to add is luckily we don't actually have a fountain in the middle. It is just a square block in the middle with a little kind of monument type of thing. It's very brief, but we can try and reenact that in some shape or form. But I do kind of want to add like a circular island in the middle rather than it just being a square, because we've got a lot of space and I kind of want to use it up somehow. So that is another thing to add. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to grab some more resources and I'm going to pop down this little gravelly part in the middle, and I'm probably going to time lapse it because why not? little time lapse, we might need another one. And I'll also pop up these walls for the next time I see you. And have a look at this. This looks so cool. It really is coming together, and it's a really nice sight to see. So I'll walk through a few things that weren't added in the time lapse. So I've added in this little trim of sandstone that goes all the way round, because I wanted it to kind of be lifted up like this is in the middle, but it just didn't feel right. So I've just left it out for now. And we have a little monument in the middle. It's glorious. Really not much to see. And I've added in some light sources, added around with some glowstone. Then over here I've added some lighting as well, and some more at the front. Although there isn't any at the front, I just wanted to add it in anyways, just to kind of make it look nice. And I've added in some additional details that I saw on the building. There is a pipeline that goes all the way up to the top, so I've done this with hoppers and chains. And then there's like a banner slash sign or something of the sort on either side, so I've added in a grey banner with some stone brick all underneath just to make sure it looks alright. So that has kind of been what has been added. Now let's talk about upstairs. So I've gone and added all of our exterior walls up, and in the meantime I have finally kind of gotten to a conclusion for our floor plan for the first floor, and it has been so long. It's taken up nearly a week of my time trying to make sure that every single room has a purpose. It makes sense. It's not just whacked in there just because it can. So we have a lot of rooms. So I'll kind of go through it with you very roughly. I know it's kind of confusing with all the netherrack. So we have got additional stairs that are completely the same on the other side. So this will take us to our second floor. We have a little landing area. We've got another room which can be used for storage or something. That's my main problem. I've added a lot of rooms, I don't know what's for. Regardless, we've got a bathroom. We have a VIP lounge, which will be at the very back. Then in this long room here, I would like to add a conference room. I think it'll be quite nice and fitting. Then we have this long corridor that goes out to the back over here, which will have us overlook the entirety of the ballroom. Now, again, I'm still kind of torn between whether it should be a curved thing, or if I should add maybe like a little trim around the area just to kind of make it less flat. Of course, I'm going to add in some walls to kind of break up the blocks and kind of give us a little bit of texture, because all these windows are not being used at the top, so I kind of want to do something with it, but that's a little bit more brainstorming for another time. We can go all the way over to the other side, all the way across, and as you can see, there's another staircase, and of course I had to fall down, so up we go. We have got another room in here. I have labelled everything. I don't remember what they are, so in the edit I'll tell you which room as well, okay? Then we have another room over here. I think this will be a reading room, I believe. So it is very close to our library. I kind of wanted to make sure that there's a little bit of a connection there. And it's very nice and spacious. We've got a very small bathroom, which might be extended just slightly on the side there. And then we've got a media room, which is very big. So this will be a TV. This will be the most comfy living room that everyone will kind of spend time in, rather than the one downstairs. So this will have maybe a pool table in it as well. So it's kind of a mix of billiards and a media room. So a bit of everything. Then we go across. We are going into the library on the second floor. I'm still kind of brainstorming on what to make as like a balcony area. I'm thinking maybe this side might be nice, so we've got some space going across there. Then as we go down this side, we've got a lot of space now, and down in this room will be the master suite area. So this is kind of a reception place. So this will be acting as like another living room and just kind of every kind of bits and bobs. So if anyone's waiting for Bruce to come down, they can wait in here. So that being said, I'm going to go up these stairs that are completely private for this part of the east wing, I believe it is. Then that will go up to the bedroom with a master bathroom. I was thinking of putting it here, but as time went on, I was really disliking the idea, so I'm just left it now and whatnot. So this was like a really big struggle for me, I will say, mainly because of how big these windows are. The 6 wide windows are really annoying. So I've tried my best to make sure it makes sense. There are just a lot of gap areas that are going to be just cluttered items, tables, and whatnot. I mean, hey, Bruce had a table in his Great Hall which had pumpkins on it. It can't get any more interesting than that. So there we go. And then as we go out, I've done exactly the same design as I did downstairs. I've just did it a little bit different. I kind of like this idea / look better. So if I go back down to the bottom, you can kind of see I've done exactly the same. And using the walls makes it so much better. I really like how it's turned out. It's less blocky, like I said, and it's a really nice use of these walls. So let's head back inside before I get killed. And let's talk about flooring. So, like I said, I kind of wanted to use a different type of flooring. So I am kind of juggling between stripped oak wood and another thing to add, which I'm kind of going to leave up to you guys, which is the use of walls for the second floor and our Great Hall section. So when you saw the images earlier, the walls and stairs are actually this kind of marble design, and there is not kind of like a marbly type of block except for quartz, pale oak, got calcite, diorite as well, which is fine, but when next to our dark colours over here, it just doesn't look right at all. So I'm kind of torn whether to do it according to the images that we've seen, or just add in this kind of aesthetic that has been built around every single other room. Of course, like I said, sets have a way of doing things, and not everything makes sense according to floor plan and whatnot. So I'm going to leave that up for the next episode to decide. I might think of it between then, but whether or not this would be white stairs going up with trimmings around doors and stuff like that, I'll definitely experiment, but it's something to consider. So let me grab my blocks and also fall asleep, and I'm going to show you a little design that I've kind of made. And although again it's not this marble type flooring, I kind of want to spice it up just a little bit with some more oak wood. Okay, so I've got a lot of oak wood, as you can see, and I'm just going to hollow out about a good amount of this flooring. and I also am quite terrified to go down there because I do not know what's under there. I've yet to like lit up the place, which I guess is my fault, but at the same time, I'm not. I don't really care. I'm just kind of scared, really. So I'm gonna pop these oak logs down like this, and I'm kind of doing a crisscross design. So all of this will be stripped down, and then I'll do that again accordingly. And I'll just continue doing it till this part is fully cleared up. Of course, that would be filled in as well. So that's kind of what it's looking like. But what I wanted to add as well, there's like these kind of little dots in the flooring. So if I go 2 from here, maybe like that, and then 2 across, 2 across. Let me get some dirt blocks, temporary blocks for now. So let's go on back. I was thinking of adding this kind of pattern going across. So every 2 blocks it would have that there, so on and so forth. So we kind of got a little bit of a pattern going that's kind of similar and recognizable, but also true to something that's kind of unique as well. So that's what I was kind of thinking. I'm probably still going to fill this all out. And another thing to add is design for the kitchen. I finally have come to terms with the kitchen floor, which I believe is somewhere over here. And like I said in our previous video, the floor is going to be a contrast to walls. So I'll be basing it off the Gotham design from the TV show, where the floor is kind of like a brick granite kind of colour, and the walls are a pale grey / blue tiled kind of mix. And unfortunately, this whole house is kind of made of brick, so I don't really want to do that, and Minecraft is quite limited. So after having a look around, I found some lodestones from some ruined portals or something. I think it's a new loot drop. And apparently they're very easy to make now with some iron. And I love how it looks from the top. Now this could be combined with clay, funny enough. But I'm kind of thinking some stone, which I have no idea where I've put. Kind of a mystery. I did have some smooth stone. But having that in a checkered pattern I think would look quite nice. So it's somewhere in here. I apologise for my lack of organisation. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, I've already made quite a lot. But having a look on how that works together is actually quite nice. So I'm definitely going to go for that for design. So I'm still thinking whether or not I do that for the bathrooms. I might do that as like a mushroom block, like the mushroom stem. But for in here, I think it'll definitely be fitting and kind of bring a little bit of light to this room. Still think it's very dark and empty, which of course is what it is. But hey, go with it. But yeah, so that's a little bit of an insight of what's going on. And as of right now, I've got no other plans other than just building up the walls and going from there. So I'm going to end this video here. I know it may have been a bit of a short one, but I've been doing a lot of rambling and it is quite repetitive for our exterior walls. However, in the next episode, we'll be doing something a little bit different. So this is when we are going up, I think, one more floor. We'll be doing our bedrooms, we'll be doing the roof, we'll be talking about barriers and chimneys and stuff like that, because apparently this building has a lot, which makes no sense at all. But hey, we can just roll with it. So, with that being said, just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye!